Hello, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me very well or how this is going to turn out or not, but it's me, MrGamingGuitarist, and I have not made a video in a very long time, and it feels like every time I do make a video, like probably the last 10 videos I've done, I always say it's been a long time, but it really has, and I can tell how long it's been from how much my hair has grown, because it's like I always identified myself as being a guy that has long hair, and now it's finally back, and it makes me happy. It's like, hey, if there's any goal I wanted to achieve, stop getting haircuts again, and then it all came back. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's the exact same health status where before, if you remember the days between my channel between 2013 to 2017, the first time I had long hair, it was all thin and wispy, and I think it still is. I don't know. I'm not a hair expert. I don't know why it's the first thing that came to my mind, but it was, as far as like the big giant difference that you're seeing in me. So as you can tell, I'm driving. Yes, I still am a full-time Uber driver, and every time I want to complain about it, anytime I'm feeling bad, I just have to keep reminding myself. Don't act like a bitch. And I actually just recently learned that from Anthony Kiedis, because I was listening to him on let me park here. I was listening to him on Joe Rogan, because, I'm really getting into all the comedy podcasts now. So yes, these are 2 glasses. These are the fit overs, because I can't afford to buy a pair of prescription sunglasses. So anyways, and it's exactly like what Anthony Kiedis was talking about when he said, don't be a bitch. Not talking about man or woman. It just means don't act like a mean, grumpy, cynical, jaded asshole, which is exactly how I have been, for quite a long time. Because I've realized now that that being homeless really took a gigantic toll on me, and it's taken quite a while for me to a lot of mental work. Like, I feel so much better right now simply because I started meditating for the very first time in my life. I want to say it was maybe 5 days ago. And I'll tell you what the real difference was. Like, I started to feel really good after the first 2 days. And then all of a sudden, I started to get a shit ton of positive things happening. Like, I started to get a lot more rides, and I've been having a lot more just great conversations, or I guess because I'm 28, so even though that is part of this next phrase I'm about to mention, it's like I just felt a lot more good vibes, as the kids these days would call it. And yes, I know, I should not be saying kids these days, even though I'm 28, which a lot of people would still count me as part of the kids these days. But like, a lot of the people younger than me that are like in their early 20s, it's like the things they talk about, it's like they tell me I have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And when it comes to like TikTok, that's like the sign that I'm not the youngest person anymore. I still don't understand TikTok, and they'll tell me, hey, have you seen this thing on TikTok? I'm like, I've never installed it on my phone. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Maybe I need to start getting it. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. Pretty much the thing that I'm trying to talk about now is how meditation really has changed me, because I don't know if you can tell from my voice or just my energy. I just feel so much better now than I did from 2018 when my mom had the stroke, 2021 when I was homeless, until now. It's like, it sounds so corny and so cheesy, because I was a giant skeptic of it. It's like, are you telling me that just closing your eyes and focusing and not thinking about anything and only thinking about right now, I'm closing my eyes and just focusing on who I want to be and trying to remove all the negative actions, trying to become a better person, just thinking and concentrating on that? Are you, like my brain used to say, is that stuff actually work? And what did it for me was, just one day randomly on my YouTube recommendations, I got this interview with this guy. His name's Dr. Joe Dispenza. Started listening to it, and it was shocking, because it felt like he was narrating or describing my daily life, where he talks about you're going through routines, and that becomes a part of your unconsciousness, and you're just so used to that anything that breaks out of that, it makes you extremely uncomfortable, and you hate it and you resist it. So what happened was, so the last 2 days I did not meditate, and I could already, like, the old self, like the way your brain is, the way I've realized my brain is so used to that, just feeling like crap all the time. It's like, I used to think, oh, this is just who I am. I used to think being depressed, being anxious, always worried, always thinking everyone hates me, always thinking, like, always like bracing my mind and my body for the worst possible outcome for absolutely everything. I never truly realized how much of that became conditioning and thoughts that I ended up believing were true. I never learned how much of that was just me, because I'm sure if you remember, like, a lot of my recent videos from the past year, you could see my anger, my cynicism, me being jaded, thinking I don't get it until I learned. It's like, good God, it's like it was so fucking simple. This whole time, it was me causing all of that. Me. This here, the brain, all of it. It was all me. And that's when I started to learn that, that a lot of it is your own ego. At least for me, it was. That's what I learned about it. It was my own ego causing all of these feelings and thoughts that I believed were true, making me think this is me, until I learned, no, it's not. It's not me. And it's like, because I was feeling like crap, even this morning. And what really changed that a lot for me is because all I did was, I started driving this morning, and it's like, oh God, I feel so tired. I feel so lazy. I hate this. And then all I did was just sit down right here, listen to one of Joe Dispenza's guided meditations. Just search for that on YouTube. Just listen, start playing one of them, and just working through it, even just as I was right here doing it. And then I opened my eyes, and then all of a sudden, it's like that 1,000-pound weight of my old self, of my personality, of the guy that I was, that I hope to God I never become that guy ever again. It's like that. It felt like there was a fucking 1,000-pound weight, like right here on my neck, and then the meditation helped take it off. It took it off. And then now it's like I feel lighter. It's like, even though I know I need to begin working out, and I haven't done that yet, and I want to start, playing basketball and start doing that, because I did it for a little bit, and that brought similar energy where I felt good again. And so that's the thing, that if there is anything at all that I learned, it's that a lot of those things about the self-help, things like that I used to be so skeptical of it, because I used to have a giant collection of books in my old house before I became homeless. And I thought, I was reading it and nothing was changing, until I learned, like, my old self was so strong, my brain was so strong, so used to that negativity, that anytime I was even going to attempt to do something different, to try to change my mood, I was like, no. That's like what it felt like. Like, I could feel that resistance. And now it's, at least most of it is gone. It's like just finally deciding to give meditation, and it's only been 5 days, and I skipped out the last 2 days because I got my laptop back, and I think that's a huge, gigantic reason why I haven't been making YouTube videos, because my laptop was in the pawn shop. Finally got it back, and then I started to play Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War, and games that brought me joy before. And the crazy thing is, it's like I played them and I appreciated them so much more now. And the crazy thing is, the old me would have said, I want to stay home and just keep playing this. But then I started meditating. I was like, I enjoy these games, but now I'm done playing them with my session, and instead of immediately wanting to go back in, immediately wanting to watch whatever TV show or movie or YouTube channel, or playing whatever game, insert that name here, all of a sudden I felt okay with doing this, hopping back in my car and getting back to work. And if this was me last week, I would have called myself insane for doing that. And I just learned, it's like all of a sudden, whatever social skills I had were gone that whole time, because all I was doing was feeling so fucking miserable, just driving, eating, sleeping. And I learned that you have to be happy with yourself on the inside first, because it was so obvious. It was like, this is going to sound hilarious to you guys now. If you watch, because I remember before, I don't know if it was this year or last year, I made a video at the time called, I think it was called I'm 27 and never had a girlfriend. And I haven't seen that video yet. Maybe I'll rewatch it just to see how much of a difference now I feel. But it was like, yeah, of course I've never had a girlfriend. That guy, the old me in that video, of course no girl would ever want to date him. It made sense because I was just giving off so much fucking negativity. And in the past, I would always realize to myself, I'm only realizing this now, at the age of 28. Better to realize this now at 28 than 58. But I'm learning now that other people can sense your energy. And I only thought of energy in the past as something like, oh man, I don't feel very energetic today, I feel lazy, until I learned energy is also something that other people can sense. Because, after spending this whole week learning about meditation, I learned that your energy changes. Like when they say the whole like magnetic personality, it's because I learned if you are a negative person, always have negativity flowing through you, all you're going to get back is a reflection of what you are on the inside. Because all that time, it's like all my car problems, always, being mad and angry every single time things don't end up, it's like I was always outcome dependent, because I was like, if I don't make this amount of money today with Uber, then I'm gonna have a horrible time, I'm gonna have a horrible day. And then I used to think, if I don't get this girl's phone number, I'm going to feel like complete shit. Or, for example, if I, and this is a huge one right here. If I call this person and ask to borrow money from them, and they tell me no, at that time, if I heard no, then I was in a complete panic. And now I learned that the biggest thing holding me back was simply just letting the outside, like external forces on the outside determine how I feel on the inside. Letting my emotions rely on being outcome dependent. It was all of those things. And now I learned, wait a minute, that's not who I am. And it's like the last time I felt this light, this free, this energetic, I was probably, 21 or 22 at that time. So, and that's the funny thing. It's that I was constantly thinking about the past, or constantly thinking about worrying, overanalyzing, bracing myself for the worst possible outcome for certain bills and money in the future. Whereas now, simply just living in the present, just breathing in, breathing out, all of that stuff, just simply thinking about right now, like as soon as I end this video, I'm just going to concentrate, enjoy lunch, get back on the road, drive more people, like all of this stuff. It's like, as soon as you just, I've learned, this was the biggest thing for me, was simply opening yourself up and just giving things a chance, trying it out. Because the thing with me is, best example I can give is this is going to sound hilarious, is Paramore, right? I hated them in 7th grade in 2007 when they were brand new, when I was 13, when all I cared about was classic rock and metal. Like, all I cared about was Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Motley Crue, Metallica, Megadeth, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, like Def Leppard, stuff like AC/DC, stuff like that. And I was like, any band that started after the year 2000 must be awful. That's what I believed that's how I thought of it as. And then, I'm sure if you remember before, I started making a bunch of reaction videos in around 2020 to all kinds of different music that I'd never heard before. And I started listening to it. I was like, wow, this stuff is great. Alter Bridge, amazing. Nightwish, amazing. Hailstorm, amazing. Paramore, amazing. Tool, amazing. And it's like, now I love all of this stuff. And then it made me go even further into music, right? Like, I started learning more about, and this is the part where it's like letting go of the past self, letting go of the ego, letting go of your own thoughts. That's when I started listening to Billie Eilish and Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift and like all of these modern pop artists that my old self as a teenager in my early 20s would have called the enemy, like music like that. And now I love it because I gave it a chance. And now I like that stuff. And I'm not fucking afraid anymore of telling people, hey, I'm a giant Taylor Swift fan, and a Metallica fan, and a Foo Fighters fan, and a Lana Del Rey fan, and a fan of The Weeknd, and all this stuff now. Because I learned, hey, just because they make this, program this stuff on a computer, it's just another tool in the toolbox, just like a guitar and a bass and a drum set and keyboards are part of the toolbox, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's like all it took, how simple was this? Like, I don't know if you've never seen my videos before and you take a look at my old videos in the past, you might see how different I was. And this was only like 1 week of even beginning to learn about meditation and learning to let go of the ego, letting go of the past, and just living in the present and not being outcome dependent. All that stuff. It's seriously saving my life, saving my mental health, improving it for the better. And if there's anyone else out there watching this right now that might be skeptical of meditation, see for yourself. Watch my old videos. You could see the anger, the hate, the bitterness in me. Thinking that everyone else sucks. Thinking no one else cares. That was my old attitude. And now, it's like, I'm fine. I'm cool with this stuff. I'm chill. I'm just breathing in, breathing out. Focus on the next passenger and not giving a shit anymore if they cancel on me, or not being angry at every, pickup truck driver that always cuts me off in traffic because God forbid I actually follow the law. Stuff like that. Things that would ruin my day. Now it's like I'm watching people walk by along the sidewalk. It's like, that's what those thoughts are now. It's like you see them, they walk by, and then they're gone. So yeah, don't know what I'm going to title this video. Actually, I think I just thought of it right now. I think I'm going to call this Meditation is Saving My Life. So I think that might be a good suitable title for this. So anyways, that's what's going on with me now. Still don't know if I can regularly upload videos again, but the bare minimum is that I can promise is that I'll continue to keep on making these videos, updating you on the journey of my life and all of that stuff. And so that's pretty much all I've got to say. But hey, if you want to stick with me on this journey, whatever it is, like if I go back to making music reactions or recording gameplay videos or whatever it is, if you are interested, I hope you think about pressing subscribe and hitting the like button and pressing the bell after you subscribe to get notified from new videos from me. So yeah, because I feel so different, so much better. It's like I'm in brand new territory for my mental, the way I feel about stuff right now. So, anyways, I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Bye.